and I feel like your character definitely get you very far.
Bruh, so far.
Yeah, I'm always gonna be like.
It wasn't until recently, in the past year or so, where Shido started pulling up and was like, excuse me, do you have the $100 brushes?
No, bro.
When I come to paint, I need...
Bro, that's not it.
Give me the paint, give me the chalk, give me the urban artist talk. Conversations from the heart, from the start we set apart. Art a la carte, now check it.
Hey, beautiful art community. Thank you for watching another episode. Be sure to subscribe to Urban Artist Talk. Your subscription will help us to bring on more guests and make sure that we fund this whole project. So thank you for watching another episode, and we look forward to your support. Welcome back. We got another episode. I'm your host, Andre Jamora, aka Natty Rebel. We're here in the BAMP headquarters, and we got a phenomenal guest here on set with us today. Not only is my good friend, he's also a brethren. He is an ally in this art world. My man, Shogun Shido.
Hey, clap it up, everybody. Clap it up.
What's going on, bro?
Man, nothing much. It's been a ride these past couple of months.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks. And I'm just grateful for everything, taking everything in stride as it comes. And yeah, I mean, I got no complaints.
Yeah, man. No, it's, life, especially as you get older, life, like it's, in the great words of Bob Marley, it's, light like a feather and heavy as lead, and I can't even put things in better terms. It's just kind of like, things are heavy, but then, as far as like my health, as far as, my children's health, my mental health, I can't complain.
Yeah, I think that's really where I've been at lately. Cause it's like, yeah, it's like a tumultuous kind of storm. But yeah, when it comes down to just like the core aspects of like, I'm probably the healthiest I've ever been in years, the most active, creatively, like surrounded by so many incredible people, inspiring people. I'm getting opportunities that like I'd never thought that I could attain, or I thought it would take, way more time to attain. So I'm just like, oh well, when I really sit back and look at it, I gotta be grateful for that. And then just take advantage of it while I have, that opportunity to do so.
Most definitely, because none of us are promised tomorrow.
That's facts. That is the biggest fact.
Yeah, man. Definitely got to give a moment of silence and a shout out to my good partner, Math One, who just recently passed away. So R.I.P. Math One. You will be loved and remembered here in the town forever. Your artwork was one of the first things that actually inspired me when I came to the town, and I know hundreds of other people. So, yeah, man, we're not promised tomorrow, so we got to make the most of today.
Facts.
Today.
And leave a legacy. Yeah, that legacy that's, that's worth talking about.
Exactly, man. So as we speak about legacy, where does the name Shogun Shido come from? I know a lot of people just know you as Shido, but where does the name, where is it inspired? Where's the essence of it come from?
Shogun Shido is the name that I gave to myself based off of a particular time in my life where I felt like I was implementing a lot of self-discipline, and I'm a huge admirer and fan of Japanese culture, but specifically like the samurai aspect of that culture. So I believe I had switched my nickname because my nickname used to be Spade to people.
Spade!
Yeah, so like everyone who knows me back in New Orleans or like in high school and stuff like that, they know me as Spade.
They watching right now like, Spade, that's that nigga Spade!
They know me as Spade.
Forget.
They'll still call me till this day and be like, yo, what's up, Spade? And I had to like switch my name because I felt like I had outgrew it, and it went from just Spade to Bushido Spade, and then I dropped the Spade and I was like, oh, just Bushido. But then I was like, oh, this is like it's too long. It doesn't. It's like doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely. So I kind of just cut it and I just made a Shido, and then I added the Shogun because the Shogun is the highest rank that a samurai could achieve in their lifetime, and I believe through research uh, that the Shogun could also have more power than the emperor just off a base of respect because
Wow.
they have more control over the actual like armies and stuff like that.
Right.
So they've gained their name through just like going through battles or uh, just being a very honorable person in general. So I felt like I resonated with a lot of that, and that's when I just decided to make Shogun Shido my name and just kind of follow that path with my own morals. And it rolls off the tongue. I like alliterations, so I'm like Shogun Shido. Sounds kind of nice.
So did that go hand in hand with, like the beginning of your like pursued or professional art career, or was that just a nickname?
Around that time, I was actually making music, so I wasn't like a full blown visual artist
Mm-hmm.
my whole life.
What
Like
kind of music were you making?
I was like hip hop, rap. Like I grew up listening to like Wu-Tang Clan and like golden age New York hip hop with a mix of like golden age Southern hip hop. So that's like a lot of like Cash Money, Dungeon Family,
Mm-hmm.
um, from the Outcasts, the Ludacris's, the Ti's, to like the Nas's, the G Units and stuff like that. So I felt like I was a very like lyrical miracle type of rapper when I was younger,
Yes.
because that's what I grew up on, and that's what I really aspired to be. That, and then like I'd try to do something that was experimental because I'd listen to a lot of like Kanye and Pharrell and Lupe Fiasco, stuff like that. So music was like my top love at that time.
Dope. So full circle. We're gonna tap in because you've gotten into music more recently, but on the DJing
Yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely come full circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gonna tap into, as we talking about names, we're gonna tap into the DJ Jambalaya. We're gonna get back to that. But we're gonna stick it within the early days.
Yeah.
So when did you start your like say professional art career as a visual artist?
um, Professionally, I'd say that it started uh, a little bit before I came out to California. So I would say about 8 years ago was when uh, I kind of made the decision to start taking things more confidently
Mhm.
and more proactively with pursuing my art. Uh, and it really just started out off of a means of me having to feed myself because I was homeless at the time and I didn't really have any other way to provide for myself outside of just doing art. And I had got uh, gifted the opportunity that changed my life, which was an artist in uh, the French Quarter gave me a couple of wood planks, and then they told me that I could paint these and then come back and sell them. And I painted them all and came back and I sold all of the pieces. Of course, like I was selling everything for like $20 and stuff like that.
A sale is a sale.
Sale is a sale, though. Yeah. But after having done that, I kind of was just like, oh, I'm an artist now.
Yes, sir.
I was like, I'm an artist now. Like this is what's feeding me, and it already came natural because I had already did art when I was like a kid and stuff like that. But that was the first time I actually like applied myself to doing it, and yeah, it's just been exponential since then.
Yeah. You have a very distinct style. I saw, some of your pieces that you had brought from New Orleans. I think we still have one or two of them here in the studio. We got one of your pieces here. Can you explain a little bit about, just what makes a Shido? What goes into a Shido piece?
Mm. Uh, I said that this piece in particular is a combination of two new styles that like two new styles. So, but it has three styles in it. The core of the style is the line work, which is the subconscious stream, which is what I initially started. I feel like that kind of like built a lot of my name was when I started to do the abstract line work and everything. And that was just base meditation, uh, filling up space, and like being aware of the present moment. And then there's like the silhouettes, bodies that I've dubbed the fluid forms, which are representations of uh, like people and the many forms that we come in, different shapes, sizes, creeds, and colors, and we all kind of fit together. How we fit, get in where you fit in, type of vibe. And then there's like the spread of color. I feel like there's also a style that I have. I feel like a lot of people have, but when it comes to when it comes to me and my canvases, I like to always do a free flow of color, whether that be gradients or monochromatic. But there's a like a chaotic order to a lot of the coloring that I put into a lot of my pieces. So I said that this was a midpoint in me kind of understanding the balance between all three of those styles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the fluid form characters, especially the 3D cutout pieces. I think we have a few of them here. Um, yeah, when you see a Shido piece, you know it's a Shido piece. And what I admire about, your work is that you paint on any and everything. You see how the painting matches the bag, matches the pants,
Yes.
matches the sweatshirt. You got to coordinate. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to coordinate. And it's amazing too, because whenever I'm out in the world and I got a Shido t-shirt on, or if I see somebody wearing something, I'm like, yo, that's a Shido piece. And they just confidently like, yeah, you know it. And just kind of like keep moving. I'm like, but I know, you know what? Have a good day. Nice sweatshirt. Yeah, no, it's a thing, man.
Nah, I feel like I've been really meditating on that for like the past years. That I really uh I was really holding true to just being outside whenever I was in New Orleans.
Mhm.
I think the main thing for me was just having a hustle mentality, because that's just the city of New Orleans is like everybody's just out there
Getting it.
finding a way to get it. So even when I was doing art on the street, it kind of taught me um, the links that I would kind of have to put myself out there to to at least like get in front of the right person.
Hmm.
So it was a mix of that, and then also not putting myself in a box when it came to my creativity and where I could see it going. So I just say, honestly, I just say yes to a lot of things. I
You
was just
got
like,
to when you're starting out.
it was definitely like the fake it till you make it, but I definitely wasn't faking it because I was
You was doing
very
it.
confident in doing it. And I'm like, yo, if you ask me, can you paint this? Like, yeah, I'll do it. Can you paint this wall? Like, I don't
Yeah.
have any mural experience. I'll do it. Like, this is the biggest thing I've ever painted, or
Yeah.
this, like, how would this work? I'll try to figure out a way to make it work. So I think that that's finally over time, it's starting to like those seeds that I planted with all of that hard work are starting to like really flower beautifully. So uh, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean, and I think you already answered my next question, but do you find, it's important to paint on multiple different type of surfaces in order to gain, different audiences, new audiences, clients?
Yeah, I feel like it's like yes and no. You should definitely work to your strengths,
Hmm.
and I can't necessarily say that everybody can do what I do, and that's not even like a flex or nothing. That's just like
I'll
I know
flex on them.
people. I
It's
know
okay.
nah, nah. You know, like I know people who are strictly like gallery artists,
Yeah.
and they're like incredible, impeccable gallery artists, and that's just their thing. They're just really good at that, and they could make a whole show and curate the whole vibe, and that might just be their thing. Like me, I'm not necessarily that type of person to just put all of my eggs into that basket,
Hmm.
because I don't know, like my mind is always like wanderlust. So I'm like, yo, how can I like what's something else I could do to try to like experiment or create like some type of new pathway, and if that works, try it out. But I do feel like people should be open minded to the possibilities of their creativity.
Hmm.
Like that's something that you should never put yourself in a box in. But if you feel like you're really good at something, then you should go all in about it. Now I just feel like I'm good at like trying things and applying myself in multiple ways because that's just how my brain works. Like
Yeah.
I'm like an overthinker, so I'm always like juggling like 3 or 4 thoughts at a time. So when it comes to art, I could be painting one canvas and I'll have an idea for something else, and I'm like, oh yo, this would be nice if I did this, and then I'll be messing around with that and be like, oh man, this would be nice if like we made this life size, and then like so what this was a bodysuit, or what if like so I don't know. It's just you just work to your capacities at the end of the day. But if you do want to, I guess like reach into um new demographics of people, like yeah, you should be open minded to doing something that will probably be uncomfortable to what you're
Used
like
to.
used to.
Hmm.
Uh,
So tell me a little bit about your portals and how your portals play a role in your art communication.
okay. My portals um, are they're portals. There are things that could go into portals and things that come out of portals. I feel like I put a lot of intention into the pieces that I do, or the portals that I create, uh, and yeah, there's like things that uh, I could only hope to get back,
Hmm.
and sometimes they come back faster than others. Um, but I feel like that's like the initial thread to a lot of my work is how can I transmute my life experiences or how I'm feeling in a moment or in a encapsulated time, and then share that through a piece or an object or something, and then that portal could be created, or like a portal of conversation like we're having right now, uh, and then how can that like bridge like two different lifelines together, and I feel like that's what the portal is about. I open it and then it's like I'm reaching out through it, and I get to learn something new about somebody, that I never thought, and it'll be a vice versa thing. And it kind of just brings I feel like that brings everybody closer together. And me specifically because I just like to learn about other people's perspectives of thought, and just like and I feel like that helps to affirm that I'm not the only one who who be thinking a lot of the things that I be thinking, or I'm very introspective too. So I'm like, yo, am I like the only person who be having these thoughts? But then that's when I have these conversations, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. Like I'm not crazy.
No, no, you're not
So,
crazy.
yeah.
And I'm always amazed by your portals and just even the concepts, the energy that goes into them. As a illustrator, I always want to make something look, as photorealistic as possible. But then when I see the energy that you put into your strokes, the conceptualizations that that you make manifest out of them, like there's so much inspiration in the portals just within like the concept of transformation, so whether it be a conversation or whether it be you know uh you know different way of looking at something, or just all these different ways that things can transform. I think it's just a great notion, because we have these ideas running through our head. If there's something that inspires us, like a lot of your pieces do, yeah, we can just have those conversations. Where can we find some of your portals out in the world for people that might not be able to get into a gallery? Where are there some Shido portals we can find?
There's I feel like some of the pieces that I put out were during like the pandemic, and some of them got taken down. But there's a piece in front of the new parish in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
There's a piece in front of the Kapoor Center with the BAMP family.
Yep.
There's a piece in Kinfolks in downtown as well. Nectar Social Club also has a couple of pieces of mine. If you go into the city, the AAA CC has a lot of my first pieces, like murals and whatnot. I think that's mostly it. Aside from that, like you'll just see people wearing like clothes that I might have painted.
The drip is definitely everywhere. The gear is I think where most people know you from, but you also have done wine bottles, liquor bottles. I think I got one up here on the shelf.
Oh yeah. So that's like
hold on, let me put it on this.
Talk about, and I gotta grab one of these. Yeah. So it's so funny because I got a little story about the Shido Treecraft Vodka. See that?
I haven't seen this in a minute.
Haven't seen that in a minute.
We would take a sip, but it's completely empty. Oh yes, thank you, Ashley.
This like,
and we got the Shido cut out. What'd you call them? The fluid forms?
The fluid forms.
Yeah. Come on now.
So it's crazy because like even this gig with Oakland Art Murmur, like shout out to Oakland Art Murmur. Went through the contest, won the contest. But this was like one of those projects that kind of catapulted me into being like, well, like I could do more than just canvases.
Yeah.
This could translate to just about anything, you know? So I will say that I don't drink vodka though. And I wasn't trying to promote vodka to my community. At this
Disclaimer.
All right. What I'm saying?
We're not promoting alcohol, but if you drink vodka, basically you can design. I feel like as a artist, as a graphic designer, as a creative, you have to figure out ways to sustain yourself, whether you're homeless or a starving artist or just trying to, make it to the next level of your artistry. You have to find creative ways to express your artwork and get it out there. This is an excellent example of that. The funny story that we have with this Treecraft Vodka, when it came out, we were excited. You won the contest. They printed it up like a month or so later. We ordered like 3 bottles of it. First 2 bottles finished in the first week. I kept this bottle right here, this exact bottle, on my desk, and maybe, had like a sip out of it for a special occasion or two. But every week I would come in and just like an inch or so would be missing out of the level, the liquor level would just kept dropping. And I'm like, damn, this Treecraft vodka, it dissolves fast, man. Maybe I'm leaving the top off. I'm like, this shit is just evaporating into air. One time I came in and the bottle wasn't even on the table. It was like in the refrigerator or something. I'm like, hold on, I know. I ain't put it in the refrigerator. And that's when the rest of the team was like, nah, on long days, we got to hit that Shido Treecraft. I'm like, noted, understood. Understood.
I prefer y'all to drink the wine though.
So tell me about the wine. I mean, because you got bottles and bottles, bro. You got Bottle
I mean,
service.
I mean, the wine was like also just saying yes to things. Shout out to Purity Wines. Shout out to Noel and Barry.
Because they up in Richmond, right?
They up in Richmond.
So they do like the actual. I know I was asking, but we gotta get this on camera.
Yeah.
I wanted to come and do like the whole I Love Lucy step on the grapes.
So I stepped on the grapes.
You done that
the first time? Yeah.
So we've had like if we've drank the wine, we've had Shido feet touch.
The ironic thing is the first wine that we released is called the Tozen One. So like
the Tozen One. If y'all can stomach that, I'm wondering, do they make all wine like with the feet?
Not traditionally, that's how like the wine was stomped, because you have to like aerate the grapes, and like that's how you help with fermentation.
Got it.
And like stomping it with feet, like there's like good bacteria in that helps. You're not necessarily drinking feet juice though. A lot of that's gonna get filtered.
Because I don't want anybody's feet just touching my grapes.
Yeah. I mean, of course, nah. You know what I'm saying? You know. I don't know.
I don't want no bunion juice on my grape juice. You see?
All I'm gonna say is I washed my feet before I got up in there. So
good, you good. I'm just saying, just others.
I don't know about everybody else, but they also got like another instrument that they use that it's like a metal
pestle mortar type
thing that like moves the grapes around and stuff. But yeah, stepping on the grapes is one way. But shout out to the homie Jug. He's the one that kind of got me into that field, because he had already been throwing parties and stuff, using the natural wine. I kind of would come around and like I already like wine, so when they told me it was natural wine, I was like, yo, what's the difference? I was like, oh, I thought all wine was the same. But it's not. It's actually not the same.
You're in wine country, bro. You got to get it right.
It's not the same. And it was really good when I first had it. And then once I learned about it, like, oh, it didn't have any of those additives to it. And it was just the fruit, and it had its own like natural processing. I was like, yo, this is probably the healthiest thing to drink.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like alcohol or some sense. And growing up in New Orleans, I felt like I done drank every liquor that like known to man. So I feel like by the time I was like 25, I'm like, yo, I can't do the same things that I used to do.
Nah, bro.
And I can't drink the same things that I used to drink. And I don't really want to either, because
St. Ives don't hit the same.
Yeah,
More liquor don't hit the same.
It don't. And I'm not trying to get wild like that no more. Like, I've done it. I'm good.
Been there.
So yeah, just like being around with Jig and then pulling up over there to Purity. The spot is called the Study Wine Bar.
Okay.
I just got to talking with Noel. We got a really great conversation, like when we first met. And I just told him I wanted to do a label. I was like, yo, I'd be honored to do a wine label. And he was like, oh man, y'all could like come back and help with the harvesting process and like, stump on some grapes. I was like, man, I ain't never stumped on no grapes before, man. I'm like, yo, when am I going to get the opportunity to do this again?
Right.
So I'm like, man, this is a story I'm going to tell my kids and stuff, So we do it, like, and every time we go over there, what I love about Noel is like, we'll talk business and then he'll just start opening up wine bottles. So then it's like, the business is like the first 45 minutes, and then like the next 2 hours is just like us
you into that
drunk.
portal.
Yeah, now we're just drunk and we're just talking ideas. We're just chopping. We're just running it. And that's when we came up with the name and everything, because he was like, oh man, before I got up in to step on the grapes, he was like, oh, you're the chosen one. But I guess like my homie didn't hear that right, and he was like, oh, he's the Tozen One. And it was like, yo, that's great. I was like, yo, that's the name. And then, Noel hit us up like a couple weeks later, and he was like, yo, y'all know that wine y'all had stepped on? Like, how about we just release it, like, as a collaborative wine? So then we were like, all right, let's see how it goes. And it's kind of been history since then. Like we've
Tozen One still out there?
the Tozen One is no longer around.
That was limited edition.
Limited edition, and then we dropped Eye to Eye. That was our second wine, and coming up in November, we're gonna drop 2 more wines.
Okay, got names for them yet?
Supper Time and Contact.
Contact.
Yeah. So Contact is a play on orange wines. They're called like skin contact wines. And Supper Time is a red wine to be drank during like food events and stuff.
Man, you hear my guy? My guy Shido is full into the wine.
Yo.
He's like, this one you drink at night with,
Yo,
a nice
I'm
piece
trying
of...
to like, I'm trying to be set. I'm not trying to be working as hard as I've been working.
So you in the wine game now?
Yeah, man, I'm in the wine game now. I'm a wine maker.
Man, you hear that? Man, we got
I'm
a
a
whole
wine
another
maker,
conversation. I asked Shido to come in here and talk about art. My guy has moved into the wine industry.
It is an art,
It is an art.
Everything is an art, when you apply it in a creative manner. I mean, the way my brain works when I do these projects is always from a creative lens.
Yeah.
So I'm always like,
I love that.
this is great as a wine. So like, how can we... I work with Noel. Noel is an artist. He's a wine artist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the conversation is always coming from a lens of like, all right, how is this gonna like sit with the palate? Like, what about, I talk to Jug, like, yo, what foods do you think would go with this?
Yeah.
What environment would somebody be drinking this in? What would they be looking at? You know what I'm saying? So all of that plays into a lot of that. So that's why it's not too unfamiliar, aside from the fact that I'm not too familiar with the wine as I'm learning.
Oh, you will. You will.
Yeah, in eventuality, I'll be able to talk more about it in like even more specific details. But yeah, I juggle a lot of different projects, but like mainly because I know one of them's gonna pop.
Yeah. No, that's how you got to do. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. And I love the way you're just, finding the art of doing. We had Abba Yehuda on here for the first episode.
Abba is a huge inspiration for me even be thinking this way.
Bruh, Abba is that guy. That's why we had to kick it off with Abba on the first episode. But Abba basically talks about like the art of doing.
Yeah.
And, like ever since he put that into my mind, like even the little things that I don't like doing, I try and find the art of. So even whether it's washing dishes or vacuuming, I'm like, I'm like, you know what? Let me see how I turn this into a creative process. And when you take on that lens, I feel like it helps make everything beautiful. It helps makes you value and appreciate process.
Yeah, like very much so, And yeah, like I remember when I first met Abba and like it's the game he was giving me.
Yeah.
And like me learning about his life, and I'm like, yo, this man is a whole artist, and he's like got kids, and like he's just chilling. I'm like, he's chilling. And that's like that's who I would see as like, yo, he's a successful artist. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to be the most world renowned, but like he's respected, for who he is, and where he goes. And he could like...
And he paints when he wants.
Yeah, he does it when he wants to. And I'm like, that's so gangster, bro. Like,
so gangster.
Like, I love that. I'm like, I'm trying to be like this, you know what I'm saying? Even in your case, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're a whole father. And like, you just be doing this, you know what I'm saying? And like, from what you told me to getting to where you at now, like, bro, like that's successful, bro. Like, y'all are successful artists, man. Like, y'all my OGs. And I'm like, I do a lot of this because it's like, I'm trying to get to that point where, I'm your age and I could be in your seat,
and giving game to other young cats.
You know what I'm saying? To the next
that's
young
the whole
cat,
man.
And then like I could just be chilling, painting what I want to paint, doing crazy projects, like running around with a whole bunch of crazy creative friends doing kooky stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and. I feel like that's been really inspiring. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what we out here doing, man. And I think you had a catchphrase in the earlys. I think you still use it. Free my folks.
Yeah.
I always looked at it in so many different capacities of like, whether it be, incarceration and freeing those political prisoners or those people locked up on drugs, but also the work that, we're doing now, Abba, myself, just being able to pass game on to cats that would be sitting in our shoes 5, 10, 20, it's like freeing the mind of our folks is also just as important.
Exactly. That's hit the nail on the head. That's exactly how I always presented it. It's definitely for the fact of like those physically incarcerated, because yes, free those people. And like I've personally had an experience of that. So it's like I know what it's like to physically lose your freedom. But then it's like if you mentally lose your freedom, I feel like that's a crazier uphill battle, because then it's like you could have all the free time in the world and not know what to do
and just be stuck right on the couch.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I need to know the ways to liberate myself in a way that's functional and sustainable so that I can share it with the next person. And then it's like I could introduce multiple ways. So it's like I don't have to just tell you like, if you paint, like you can free yourself. Like, nah, like I want to be able to be like, you can just find something that brings you that ease or that peace or that flow, and just motivating people to invest themselves into that, until they find themselves in a comfortable position to move on to the next steps.
Man, and I've always found for myself, that the greatest motivation is just watching somebody do it. Like I've never been good at listening to preachers or, lecturers for even that matter. But if somebody gets up and does something and allows me to watch over their shoulder quietly, that's where, for me, inspiration comes. So even in my life, it's like, all right, I don't want to try and teach people how to become great artists.
Yeah.
If they can see me in motion being a good person painting, then hopefully they'll be inspired.
Yeah.
And they'll paint whatever, like the painting aspect of it, you're going to paint whatever, you put a paintbrush in somebody's hand, that's their style. You don't have to learn how to paint but really just going through the motions, getting up every day and showing people like, you know what? This is a sustainable way of life. This is something that, is benefiting the community. So, with that being said, I want to get into some of the early BAMP days, because I remember even 2018, I was here in Oakland, wanted to enter an art contest, but there were no art contests. So I was like, oh man, I'm going to create an art contest. We called it the Art Clash. I realized like a month into putting on the Art Clash, I couldn't be in the art competition because I'm putting on the art competition. But it was still such a magical moment because I met so many great artists at that first Art Clash, and you were one of them. Tell me about your memories about that first Art Clash. What do you remember from that first Art Clash?
I can't remember how I found out about it. I don't know how I found out about it. I think Seven might have told me.
Possible. Yeah. Sound about right.
And because it was going to happen across the street, because I was living in Atlanta at the time. And I remember, in that same time, I was doing vending events and stuff. And I think that's how I heard about it. And I was like, like an art competition. I'm about to join this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who's in there. Like, I'm trying to win. I'm a very competitive person. So, but when I got there, it's really crazy because like I know I'm so good friends with everybody who was there, from Tim to Rachel, Zoe to Lane, and it's like Ashley was in there. You know what I'm saying?
Was that? No, I don't think she was at the first one.
Was
She
at the
came.
first one?
No, she was at the second one for
Was at the
sure.
second one?
She ran the second one.
I feel like I met everybody there.
Yeah, it was
Probably
one of those
why.
moments to where it just, it was a pinnacle.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
it definitely was like that was when like all our paths converged, and that's also the same time when I learned like how great of artists were living in Oakland at that time. Because when I take a break and go walk around and stuff, and I was like, yo, they're going crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I remember seeing Rachel's piece, and I was just like, how did you do this? I was like, how did you even think of, like, how did you think
How'd
of
you
this?
climb this wall? What is the
Like, what?
process?
Like, what? You know, and yeah, I think I was just grateful to be there in that environment, and it really taught me that that's what I needed to be around. Like, I needed to be around people like that, that inspire me
Mm-hmm.
uh, to be better or do better or learn more.
It's so
Uh,
funny because I feel like, you know, people's initial thought is like, oh, I don't want to be around what they might consider their competition or people
yeah,
that are doing the same thing as them. Initially, you're just like, oh, no, I don't want them to see what I'm working on because they might
yeah,
steal my ideas, or I don't want, like, I, I feel like what made those moments so magical back in the early days of BAMP is the fact that there were so many great artists and we were all just working together.
yeah,
Nobody feeling like inferior or like, oh, what, like everybody just was there to be inspired.
yeah,
And I can definitely say for myself, like even in putting together BAMP, I still get inspired every day with the creatives and the people that I work with where I'm like, man, I don't want to do anything else, man, but just like be in creative environments and just figure out how to like,
shit is kind of like
yeah,
lace it together. You know what
enhance
I'm saying?
the, aesthetics of that
Yeah.
environment. So it's a great feeling. I would like to even just hear, do you have a favorite or most memorable BAMP moment? I know we have a lot of them that we've shared. Like I said, man, I got over 400, close to 500 pictures of this man Shido in my phone. I was just looking at before I came. I was like, damn, we have spent some time together.
How long have I been at BAM?
Man, so our
What
clash
the
was 2018.
God, yo.
That was 2018. I know it was probably a couple months before we did you did Whole Foods with us? You was at Whole
Yeah, I was
Foods?
at home. I remember
Whole Foods was the
talking to
first.
you about BAMP. That's the
Wow.
thing. Like, I remember all of that. I remember you were like, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to put together this art thing. I'm trying to get artists together so we can like get bigger murals, and you know what I'm saying." And at that time, I was just like, "Yo, all right,
This guy crazy,
I was
but
still
yeah.
young. I was just like, bro, I don't know how none of that works, bro. I'm like, if you gonna figure it out, dog, like I believe in you, dog.
Let's
Like,
go.
you know what I'm saying? But you were just really adamant about it. I just remember that. Like you were like, yo, I'm gonna do this, what? And I'm like, all right, bro. Like, I hear you. I'm like, I hear you, bro. Like,
Oh,
hit me
man.
up if you need me, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
then yeah, I
man.
just remember, yeah, it was like a couple months later. And the crazy thing about that mural, I had got fired from my job the same day that the Whole Foods mural started. So like I was working at an ice cream shop in the city, and then I remember I left to go to New Orleans, and then like the manager who hired me left, and then some like older white woman who was over them uh, changed my schedule, and then when I came back, fired me with no like
You didn't show up for your
because I
new
didn't show
schedule.
up. They was like, you didn't show up, like no warning, nothing, and it was just like, yo, last check, and it was like, good luck.
Kick
And like,
rocks.
it literally, I was, and it was funny because earlier that day, I remember like you hit me up, somebody hit me up and was like, yeah, like we painting that Whole Foods and woo wop, and I was like, man, I really want to go paint, but like I gotta go to work, I'm saying? I'm like, man, I gotta go to work, I need to do work my job, and literally, I got fired, and then I came straight to Whole Foods that day, and then
My
that's when I
guy.
was like, yeah, man, I don't think I'm gonna work a job.
I don't think scooping ice cream is really for me.
I was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out. But yeah, I don't know if I ever told y'all that, but
Nah,
yeah, I literally got fired that day, and then I just pulled up on y'all at Whole Foods.
You pulled up confident, like, yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like this is my life now. I'm like, I'm gonna just paint murals with these people, then you know what I'm saying, and see where it takes me. But
yeah, Whole Foods was our first team mural. Yeah, man.
yeah, that's like a great mural. I see that mural all the time.
Bruh, that one is a classic. We got that one. We signed a contract for 10 years. We did that one in 2018, 19. So we got another 5 years, and we're trying to see if we can't redo it in, 5 years, or if it lasts that long. But it's right, it's still knocking.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I think that might be.
That was a moment.
That was definitely a moment.
Kapoor Center was definitely a moment.
Yo, that was also a great moment. That's when I cut my hair. This is such pivotal moments of my life.
We've been there, Shido.
I cut my hair. This is during the pandemic. Like,
I remember that little commercial we shot where you pulled up on the bike and you had the short haircut. Yeah. And you was like, yeah, this is Shido, Shogun Shido. Yeah. This is the new mural. It's the portal. We ain't never even aired that. We're gonna air it on we gonna air that on this podcast.
I didn't even notice that you never used it.
Bruh, we shot so much footage back in the day. I got so much footage of stuff that just never manifested. But you guys are gonna see it here. You're gonna see Shido pull up on the bike.
Pulled up with my the shortest of short hair. I had just cut my hair.
Yeah, you was looking fresh.
I was looking crazy. Ain't nobody told me I was looking crazy. Y'all down bad for that.
Nah, you wasn't looking crazy in our eyes, man. You was just going through a portal.
Goofy, dog.
You was just going through a portal, bro. That's all.
Yeah, that was a rough portal. It's all right, though. We bounced back.
Hey, man, I've never been one to tell the next man how to wear his pants, wear his hair. So, if that's what you felt like that day, especially after hanging out with Lang came in with the chops, came in with the mullet.
Yo, you right.
Lang came in with the extended baldy. I've seen Lang wear so many different hairstyles.
You're right.
That I'm just I'm gotten to the point now in my age, mind you, and I don't cut, I don't trim, but I'm at the point now, I'm like, hey man, it's all Africa. You do you. Feel comfortable in your skin. And you pulled up on the bike comfortable. So it's hey man, that's Shido,
bro. I was chilling.
Bro.
I was like, I wonder if they're gonna know that it's me when I pull up.
Oh, come on, man. Your face, though, man. The old photos we was looking at, your face ain't changed in 6 years. Just a little bit more facial hair, that's all.
Yeah. I look a little bit more tired.
Let me tell you, man, this world is heavy, bro. Light like feather, heavy as lead. You start to feel it.
I feel it, but I'm still smiling, though. We still gonna stay silly,
Man, got to.
Oh, another moment was the gold Crocs.
The gold Crocs.
Taking photos for the gala.
That was a moment when you pulled up for the photo shoot with the golden Crocs and the golden cowboy hat.
The cowboy hat wasn't golden.
Oh, what color was the cowboy hat?
It was just a regular cowboy hat.
Okay, all right.
But you would think it was golden.
In my mind, your whole body was golden. Your whole outfit, you was the golden child that day, bro.
Yo, that was the craziest fashion choice I've ever made.
Man, well, that was the one thing with the gala, with the Oakland Artist Gala when we put it on. That was 2022.
Yeah.
It was just a chance, an excuse for all of us artists to just get dressed up.
And I did not come dressed up.
I feel like we all went into our closet and I'm glad we did the first go round because it showed us what it was hitting. Because everybody just ran into their closet, just grabbed what they had. But then we were like, oh shit, we want to do this official. So the night of,
I came correct. The night of,
and you came in raw Shogun fashion.
Yeah, I came with a painted suit.
A painted suit.
I came with a painted suit because I had to redeem myself, man. I came with.
I think you and Sorrell's dad had the toughest outfits that night.
Came, floored everybody with the handmade fit. And I was like, I gotta come like that.
Man, I think there's maybe only his father. There's very few people on this earth that I think can make Sorrell look small when he is, done some of the biggest murals here in Oakland, has worked with almost any and everybody. He is so prolific and so humble.
That's true, fact.
But when you see his father, and I only spent maybe an hour with his father, not even, maybe 15.
Yeah.
But within that 15, I felt just greatness.
Yeah.
From the handmade suit to, I think he gave me a business card, and on his business card, it had 10 different occupations. Professional, psychologist, neurosurgeon. I'm just making some of this shit up. But it had 10 professions that it takes a lifetime to study. And he had these like just casually on his
Just,
business
like,
card.
chilling.
And it was one of those things like, I dare you to question whether or not he really does
Any of these
things.
Nah, I believe it. I believe it. It makes sense why
Yeah.
Sorrel is the way that he is.
Sorrel,
Shout out
you
to
know,
Sorrel.
apples don't fall far from the
Shout out
tree.
to Eric and shout out to Trent. Shout out to ABG.
Man, the whole crew, man, they are
saying?
definitely, you know, a force to be reckoned with, man. Yeah.
They believed in me. I really fuck with them because like y'all, like they really believed in the craziness of my vision.
Yeah.
And respect my like work ethic at the end of the day. So I think
Man.
that's why they always ask me to do stuff because they know I'm gonna say yes. They know I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna come with my best.
You gonna come with your best, man. It's that piece that you did with ABG at Kinfolks.
Yeah,
I think that's where these
that's where
came
these
from.
come from. Those are the
Man, that
negatives.
piece at Kinfolks is amazing, bro. I mean, like, I've always loved your style, but just being able to see it in this wooden form, 3D, it just blew my mind when I saw it.
Possibilities are endless, though.
Endless, bro.
And that's only like tip of the iceberg.
Wine
got something
bottles, wood
You know,
carvings.
Wine installations.
3D sculptures is next. I would love to see like a
You know,
big something in the middle of like the
clothing.
block building.
You're DJing, like, you know what I'm saying? One of these is gonna pop. I'm telling y'all, one of these, look at me in my eyes.
Look me in my
One of these is gonna
eyes.
pop. I'm telling you. But no, I love everything that I do. I also, I think a big part of it that I needed to get off is quality of life. I think that's what I've been thinking about the most lately is how do I structure this quality of life for myself? So all of that revolves around things that I like to do. I like to travel. I like to be outside. I rock climb.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna always do that. I love to do art. I'm gonna always do art. I do murals. I do installations. I love to have a glass of wine every now and then. It was like, why not invest in trying to do wine and stuff like that? So I like to wear clothes. So like, why not just paint my own clothes and stuff? So it's like, oh, how do I build all of this to where I could just do all of this kind of like within my own range of ability, you know? So then I don't really need to go anywhere else to do it because it's like, oh, I'm wearing my own clothes. I got this brand to make these clothes for me, and then I can distribute those clothes to like my homies and stuff like that, so everybody can have some, you know.
It makes sense. I mean, and then even the bag line, I see the bag productions.
Shout out to ILE, shout out to Eric, you know, Vic, everyone at ILE. They also just believed in me, you know. I just went very confidently. It was like, yo, let's try to do this. We did a test run. It sold out. And then this is our second collection. So hopefully we do another one, you know, so I can keep doing it. I don't know, this is kind of like where I'm at now. I want to work with brands to kind of like help build my identity as an individual. And then it would be cool to just like be a digital nomad and be like a creative consultant or something.
Yeah,
like if
I can
people
see
could
that.
just hire me for ideas,
Yeah,
and then like that'd be great. That'd be amazing. You know what I'm saying?
I could totally see that.
That and then like I could just hire my friends. I think that's where I'm like working towards right now. Like I'm doing all the things to get the credibility to where someone could just come to me and be like, "Yo, I have this, and how could we make this pop?" And I could just be like, "Well, I know 7 artists, you know,
That can do A, B,
that
C,
can do
D.
A, B, C, and D, you know,
Yep.
and I can link you with them, or I can do it myself. But you could just give me a budget, and I'll hire my friends, and then everybody can eat, and you'll end up with a great product at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of where I'm like. So this is the first time I'm putting this out on camera. So I'm trying to manifest this,
Bruh, I feel like it's
so like in like a
you putting it
couple
out there in the
years-
world.
a couple years, if you see me abroad and you're like, where's Shido at? You know,
He's
and I'm
working
like,
on his quality of life.
There you go.
Straight.
There it is.
No, and I think that's, you know, like when you take that perspective and look at it at that aspect, you figure out what makes sense for you.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has 24 hours in the day.
Yeah.
how do you spend those 24 hours? What works for you? What what do you eat, drink? Where do you live? What do you wear?
Mhm.
And how do you find a way to get a little piece of that pie, or like just even delve into that industry, because it's inevitable. We all utilize so many of these products, so
Yeah,
now like, how do we fit ourselves into that supply and demand?
yeah, you know, and just make it to a way that like I don't need to be the richest person in the world, but like it would be great to get like a good amount
You're
to
right.
take care of myself, like
See it.
and then yeah, I think that's really, I just really feel like I want to be the catalyst to like help people like reach that level of sustainability, or at
Hmm.
least like get to a point where they could have the space to acquire the comprehension to be able to have that type of like lifestyle. Because I feel like um, a lot of us are caught up in the rat race, so it's like it's very easy to get swept underneath that, and then you're just stuck in the hamster wheel.
Hmm.
And sometimes it kind of takes like somebody to kind of just like stop that for you, and then
It
like
takes something extreme,
you
or
know
like, yeah, something to stop. Like,
you
it
just be like,
takes
yo, like
a
you,
shaking.
yeah, like yo, you don't need to
Yeah.
necessarily do this,
Or losing your job at the ice cream shop. Like, it
Yeah,
takes a
I
little,
could have spiraled after that. I could have crashed out. But thankfully, I'm already passionate about art.
Yeah.
I had something I was passionate about, and and I put myself in a position uh, to be open to new opportunities. So like be open and talking to people who, because it's like I could have met y'all at the canvas competition and been like, I don't want to, or like whenever you was talking about, man, I'm like, this bro, like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
I ain't
starting
paying
art.
with them. I'm doing my own thing over
Yeah,
here.
or like, bro, like, I'm only gonna work with y'all if I'm getting paid like X amount of money or what. But it's like I don't know, I've never been that type of person, and I feel like your character definitely gets you very far.
Bruh, so
So
far.
yeah, I'm always gonna be like,
It
my
wasn't until
humble.
recently, in the past year or so, where Shido started pulling up and was like, excuse me, do you have the $100 brushes?
No, bro.
When I come to paint,
Bro, that's not it.
I need the finest. After joining the wine
Bro, man.
industry.
Look, quality of life, bro. I just want better for all of us, dog.
Say, Daddy, I want you to use better brushes too,
you
bro.
know,
All right.
I'm just asking the questions that need to be asked, bro. I'm not knocking anybody.
Oh, I love it. So do you have any, before we change gears, do you have any like, inspiring words for any young entrepreneurs or, artists themselves that, kind of see themselves in your shoes or in your wake, to where it's like they want to do multiple things. They want to definitely get their artwork out there. What would you say to those young, 15, 18-year-old, 20-year-old artists?
I'll definitely say find the thing that you're most passionate about and lock in with that. Like lock that in. And then once you become comfortable and expressing yourself in that way without with without feeling like you have to make money on it. I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's like surrendering to the fact of like surrendering to the unknown. Like,
Yeah.
you might not make money with this for the first like year and a half or something, 2 years.
That's with any business. People got to understand
with
that.
anything, it's gonna be a lot of risk and there's gonna be a lot of discipline to it. But also, I feel like working on your character. I think that's the biggest thing. Like your talent and your skill will get you far, but you just being a genuine like good person and
Mhm.
like really just being about the process of it all and loving it for the craft is gonna get you way further than like someone who just came out who's super talented. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and that's not to knock anyone with talent because
It's just good character.
that's
Speaking of
great,
good
but
character.
great character, like good talent and great character, like yo, you're gonna be like that's legacy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like if you just, but if you don't have that talent and you just have great character, you could also build a
You
great
still get a
legacy
foot
off
in the
that.
door though.
Yeah,
That you still
you'll
get a
get
look.
opportunity,
Yeah.
and then I feel like from that, being malleable, being flexible, being willing to learn, not being afraid to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna get you so much further than the next person. Cause like contrary to popular belief, like not a lot of people be like down to do stuff. Like people just don't be down
Or they
to
hit
do
it
stuff.
one time,
You know?
fail, and then they like, nah.
They're like, nah, this ain't for me, you know what I'm saying? But like they only looking at it from one perspective, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you should do it, because it's like, yo, you just never know. You just never really know. Like a lot of the things I've done them without feeling like, oh, like this is gonna take, like this is the break. Like this is the one that's gonna it's gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I just love to do it for the fact that I can put it on my resume and be like, yo, I did this, and I can look back on it and I can be proud about it. So yeah, I say this.
And then I also feel like people are afraid of failing.
Yeah.
Can you speak to the art of failing? Do you have any experience with failing?
Oh, I failed a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my homie, Jig, about this. It's like, I have a lot of great ideas, and that don't mean all of them are gonna work though. I just have a lot. That don't mean everyone's gonna be $1 million idea. And nor like I shoot a lot of shots, but not all of them shots is gonna make it in.
Yep.
And I just have to be okay with that because that's just the way that it is. But it's not gonna discourage me to not keep trying, because that's when you really lose, when you just like give up completely. Because then there's no momentum being like made. There's no forward motion.
Exactly.
So I mean, I feel like failure comes with success. Because
it's
once
the beginning of success.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. People just see the finish line and the gold medal and the awards and the accolades, but it's like
and stuff.
The beginning of success is failure. Like if you don't fall on your face when the gun goes off.
Yeah.
Like to me, I want to get those those falls and failures out
get
early.
That out the way. Yeah.
I want to figure it out so when I get close to the finish line.
Yeah.
I built up, like you said, that momentum that's gonna keep me to go past the finish line. Because the finish line ain't just the fit. Like
it's not even the finish line.
I want to keep going past the finish line. So it's like,
even in sprinting, like the concept of sprinting is like they tell you to run past the finish line, like you keep going.
Yeah, you don't stop at the finish line because your momentum is gonna stop way. Like you got to just till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, and but to your point, like I felt this way for a minute. And for a lot of ways, that people only see they only see one side of your journey. So even in my case, I can speak to a lot of people don't know how I became Shido. Like, people just see me as Shido with all my work and everything, and they're just like, "Oh, bro, you just always
I want to do that."
Like, you just always been like, I'm like, no, like y'all don't even understand. Like years ago, I didn't have any of this. Like I barely painted my clothes and stuff like that, Like, I didn't even have the confidence that I do now. So, for people to, like, come and it's both sides. There are people who are like, yo, I want to do that, and because of how I make it look. And then there's people who are like, yo, how do you, how do you get all these things, or you only get this because of, like, who you, like, your name and stuff like that. But I'm like, bro, like, I've had to put in work.
Yep.
There's work that was put in a lot of this. It was a lot of like long nights, and like sad moments, downs, ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? Like I make it look as joyful as possible because I just understand where I came from with it, and I know that it's tangible. I know that, like, yo, if I do hit a low point, I'm not gonna be there forever because I've already touched my lowest point. So it's like, I only have up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can do the same thing, but you got to be willing to make those own personal sacrifices and understand that, like, yo, if you really want it, you're gonna go get it. And if you got that mind state, then yeah, I'm saying what else? What else can you say? And I know that because I know so many people like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna shout out Langston for that because Langston is a huge person who put that mind frame into me because he's a guy who's like, I got an idea and I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And like he'll give me an idea, and then like 2 weeks later, he'll give me an update on it and be like, yeah, I done talked to like 12 people about this, and look, you know, and I'm just like, yo, like,
make it manifest.
I just gotta show up, you know. I just gotta show up for myself and like make it worth it, you know. So yeah, I'll pass that on to the next generation, or even like it could be next generation or anybody else, like
peer, friend, family,
who just wants to do something or wants to change in their life. You just gotta want it, you know. You gotta do it. Get around people who are already doing it, and then you know, stay motivated, consistent.
So, speaking of motivation, being consistent, I see you on social media pretty consistent under a different alias.
Yeah.
Not just Shogun Shido.
No longer.
DJ Jambalaya has hit the scenes. I think I remember when DJ Jambalaya was created. You know, I think it was, you know, round.
It's like, I've been DJing for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say like, yeah, like, damn, it's been like 2 years.
Man.
Yeah, DJ Jambalaya, man.
Speak on DJ Jambalaya. What is...
So I started DJing because I was in a huge art block. I had like a massive art block. I wasn't feeling too inspired. I was looking at my paintings and I just like, it just wasn't hitting. Like nothing was just like coming out at me. And I was stressed, dude. I was like, man, like I'll lose it. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? And I think a lot of it was just me feeling like the line work and everything. I was like, this is too mundane. It's too simple. Like, you know, I went into like a hole of comparison, looking at other people like, man,
social media will do that. God
bro,
damn, the rabbit hole.
Layered, like, oh man, they got reels, videos. Like, oh man, they got this brand new. I'm like, oh man, like yo, bro, like how do I do this? But a lot of that was just me beating myself up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, I just sat back and I was like, man, I just need to, I need to explore something else. I still need to do something creative, but painting probably isn't that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then also at that time, I felt like I fell back into that, or I'm making art to sell it. And I don't want to go back into that, like, fast food or art. Like, just making stuff just to make it. So, shout out to Jig again and Bust Down Collective. I just started DJing because I wanted to just do something else.
Yeah.
And I DJ'd for my birthday. It was just like a light thing. I did it for my friends and stuff. And then my homie Jig found out that I was DJing, and he was like, yo, you wanna DJ my party? And I was like, bro, like a real party? And I'm like, I don't know, dog. He was like, oh, it's chill, bro. It's chill. You could be the first DJ. Like, not that many people gonna be there, and I'll pay you $100. I was like, $100? I was like, I get paid $100 just to DJ? I'm like, I'm not even that good. But I was like, all right, cool. I was like, cool. Like I said, I'll just say yes. You know, I was like, yes, all right, cool. So I was practicing. Mind you, when I started DJing, I'd get up every morning and I'd practice for 2 hours. 2 hours, nonstop. I just DJ for 2 hours. If I mess up, I'll start over. I just learning all kinds of different things, especially for this gig. And then I did the gig. It was cool. Definitely wasn't my best set, but, you know, it was all right. I got paid $100, so, you know what I'm saying? Who really lost? You know what I'm saying? But after that moment, I just, like, kept talking to Jug about it, and he was just, he also is a person who does a lot out here. Like, he's a chef. He on the clothing line. He runs Bust Down. He's just a man who wears many hats. So out of respect, I was like, yo, dude, you do a lot, and I do a lot, bro. And he was kind of handling the Bust Down brand by himself. And I was just like, bro, I'll join and just take some of that burden off of your shoulders, and like the stuff that you don't necessarily need to do, like I'll do it. Like the things that I'm good at, like I'll just handle that. And I'll just DJ, you know, and I'll DJ with you. Because he's also one of my favorite DJs. So I just started to learn through the process and like playing with him a lot. And then I got my first residency at Slug Bar, which is no longer, but they gave me my first residency first Fridays. So it was like a prime slot um, in downtown, and that's when I really learned a lot about my DJing because
It's first Friday night. You DJing tonight?
I am DJing tonight. So I have a new residency. I play every first Friday at Kim Folks with me, Darling Cool, and Jig.
Dope.
So yeah, but the DJ has been fun. Like it really gives me the opportunity to share like all of the music that I grew up on, like all the stuff that like I'll be listening to, and I'm like, yo, I wonder if this will like be a club rocker and stuff. And also I get to learn new music through different cultures. I learned so much from different cultures through their music and everything. So it's been beautiful. It's his own art form in itself. And I think I thrive in that type of environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always fun. So yeah, I'll be chill, like we were saying off camera. Like I'll be chill, but when I be DJing, I feel like I turn into I'm DJ Jambalaya.
DJ Jambalaya is a whole different beast. Yeah. So tell us about your craziest moment DJing, wildest stories DJing.
Wildest story DJing?
Or funniest, craziest?
I don't know, dude. I feel like I DJed so much since then. Man. Oh man. I don't know. It's always wild when we DJ in New York. I feel like that's always a crazy.
New York is that type of city, man.
Yeah, like DJing. It's like a Brooklyn night where it's raining on a roof, and like you play Mac Dre, and then like everyone's going crazy. Like that's like beautiful moments like that.
That's a
like,
moment.
I love things like that, or even like oh look at that boy. Or even like playing at Kim Folks and stuff, and playing music from like the islands, and people who normally don't hear music from their like past, or like the music that their parents used to play and stuff, and then like they're the ones that start going crazy the most and everything. So it's I feel like every gig almost there's something like beautiful happens. I just really love to see like the expressions of people when like I play music that I'm like, yo, I grew up on this, and then like they're like, yo, like this is my jam, you know what I'm saying? And it's deep cut. Like I like to play deep cut stuff. Like so yeah, I don't know. I revel in that. I revel in a lot of that. I can't think of any particular crazy moment. Probably because I was drinking a lot at that time. Yeah.
Cool.
But they're always good.
Well, that brings us to the next segment of this podcast, where we're going to get you to do a little bit of painting and ask you some trivia questions. We call this Canvas Conversations, where we have a little chat with our artist guests while they're doing a live painting. So, Shogun Shido, we got a few trivia questions I wanted to ask you. You can just answer them wholeheartedly. There's no right or wrong. All right. When it comes to art styles, what is your favorite? Photorealism or abstract?
Abstract for sure.
Abstract or landscapes?
Which one do I like painting, or I like just looking at?
What do you like?
Abstract.
Abstract or portraits?
Abstract.
Abstract or impressionism?
Man. Abstract.
Abstract or pop art?
Abstract, definitely.
Abstract or anime?
I like anime.
Anime or graffiti?
Graffiti.
Huh?
Graffiti.
Graffiti or murals?
Murals.
All right. Favorite genre of music?
Oh, dude.
Country or rock and roll?
That's a hard start. Rock.
Rock and roll or heavy?
Rock. I don't really listen to bluegrass like that. Rock.
Rock or jazz?
Oh, jazz.
Jazz or hip hop?
Man, that depends on my mood, man. Yo, these questions are hard, bro. That's like two of my favorite genres. Hip hop.
Hip hop or rap?
What's the difference?
Ooh, Cone, no, that's gonna take too long. Hip hop is like more old school, more on a conscious vibe. Rap can be more
So
contemporary.
Most Def or
anything.
Future?
Huh?
Most Def or Future?
Yeah, pretty much. Most Def or Future.
I'm gonna go hip hop.
All right. West Coast or East Coast hip hop?
South Side.
Answer the question.
East Coast.
East Coast or Dirty South?
Dirty South.
Dirty South or Midwest?
Dirty South.
Dirty South or Dirty South or house music?
Oh, that's a good one.
I know for them New Orleans boys.
Yo, I really love house music.
I know he does.
I really love house music. I'll say house music.
House music or disco?
I'll say house music.
House music or reggae?
You got dancehall in there, or you just gonna say reggae? Or you can't answer that. Okay, dancehall.
Dancehall or Afrobeat?
Dancehall.
Dancehall or Amapiano?
Dancehall.
My guy. All right, you heard it first here, live. Shido's favorite genres of music as well as art here on what the hell is this thing called? Shit. Here on Canvas Conversations, live with Shido. We'll document and edit that all up. But yes, you heard it live here on Canvas Conversations, Shogun Shido's favorite genres of music as well as art. Any takebacks? No? You good with those?
Nah, man, nah.
You sound like it describes you.
That describes me, dog. That definitely describes me.
This has been Urban Artist Talk with your host, Andre Jamora. Shogun Shido. Thank you, my man. It's a pleasure as always.